Thing that happened in between, so we're going to talk about it. So Shannon Sharpe, he is being accused of sexual assault in a new lawsuit for allegedly dating a 19-year-old OnlyFans model who's now suing him for $50 million. The woman has since released an alleged audio conversation of the two where he said, "I'll choke the shit out of you." So in return, Shannon Sharpe responded with the text messages where him and the girl were talking, and she said some things like, I don't want anybody to cut this with me saying this, but she said, "I know you miss this ass, $25K for each cheek, want you to put a big black baby in me," and a whole bunch of other things to him. He also then responded with the video saying he is going to defend himself because what's going on isn't right. And he said it's all being orchestrated by Tony Busby, who has also targeted Jay-Z. He said Tony targets black men and he expects him to release a sex tape that tries to make him look guilty. So earlier, both lawyers for Shannon Sharpe and his accuser confirmed he also offered to pay $10 million to settle the case and not disclose the allegations with the girl. Whole lot to unpack. Cam, what are your initial thoughts?
Let me ask you a question before I give my opinion.
Okay.
Do you think this has something to do with her being white?
Yes.
I knew it. Why?
Because
so a black girl wouldn't do this?
I'm not saying a black girl wouldn't do it, but less likely to. I think, first of all, the whole big black baby and me, all that is like, okay, if you're into that, you like the race baiting, all that, cool. Some people like that. That's the first thing. Second thing, we all saw Shannon Sharpe might be signing a $100 million deal. Woo, 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 woo. You're an OnlyFans model and you're trying to get him with that. And now all of a sudden, $50 million. And this isn't to, discredit anybody who is, going through serious issues and like sexual assault cases. Like, hope that works out for all of you guys. But all the different terms in this, it's interesting. So yes, I think it has a lot to do with her being a white woman.
So from what I got from what you said, stay away from them white bitches. That's what you said in a real politically correct way. Yo, y'all black niggas that be fucking with these white bitches, see what happens? That's what Stat just said in a very professional way. That was really nice the way you put that, because that's all you really said. This is what happened when you fuck with them white bitches. That's what you get. That's exactly what I heard from you. But look, it's a few, like you said, it's a lot of shit to unpack with this. First thing you said, $100 million, now they want 50 out of nowhere. But when you sue for 50, you don't really want 50. You take about 23, 20, 24, you go for the high number so you can settle out for what you really want. That's first and foremost. Secondly, she 20. How old, 92?
50, so I'm going to get his exact age.
You got to know what's going on. Not saying she don't fuck with you. Listen, I remember
56.
56. I remember Delicious from Flavor of Love wanted Unc. She was on his body too. Unc stay in shape. He popping, etc. It's a lot going on. Especially he has a newfound light. You know what I'm saying? What I will say is that to me, for this last few years, and I'm talking about not even a few years, probably 6-7 years now, because he started on, what is that shit with Skip he was doing? Whatever that shit was called, Undisputed, about 6-7 years ago. So you have Undisputed. Then he has the success with Club Shay Shay. Then he has his other shows that he do on the internet. Then not only that, you leave Undisputed and go to First Take. So when I first seen Shannon on the internet arguing, going back and forth with certain people, even me and him had a couple words here and there, nothing crazy. I got mad love for Uncle, super duper love for that nigga. But when I see him going back and forth with other people, so to speak, and I say, he doesn't get it. Now he probably gets it, he's getting more seasoned. I'm talking about last year when he's arguing the sex tape, if you want to call it that, and going back, and before that was other things, people saying that he was gay, and he's going back and forth arguing with people. I'm saying, it's one thing being a successful athlete, and then it's a different thing being successful entertainer, even though sports is entertainment. But, you know, Shannon Sharpe is a Hall of Famer, Super Bowl champion, so people know who he is. But now you're sitting there talking about people. It's one thing when you're catching the ball, scoring touchdowns. It's another thing when you're opinionated about different people. So he found a new brand of success, and I don't think he knew about it in the beginning because, you know, he used to say, my sister said, when you're at the top, this, that, and third. Yeah, nigga, that's the way it goes. People are going to want to come at you when you're successful in this realm. When you're successful in football, people can't run as fast as you or jump as high as you or catch touchdowns. It's something different to where you're being opinionated. And now that you have a smartphone, everybody has an opinion. Anybody with a smartphone can have an opinion. So when you have this newfound success, you got to know how to move, especially with the bitches. You got to know how to move, my nigga, because they are, I'm not saying niggas don't fuck with you, but they want something. They want a couple dollars. They want $25,000 a cheek. Fuck is that? Yo, $25,000 a cheek, and you still speak to the bitch? Like you said, to me, it sounds like they had a lot of, what's the word? I don't want to use BDSM. They had a lot of like little rough relationship. When I say that, choke her and she like it, or grab her up and she like it. Because there's some shit I read it too, that he had anal sex and she got mad because he ain't put the condom on or some shit like that. Obviously, Shorty likes some of this shit, my personal opinion. And like Stat said, I don't want to be disrespectful to anybody going through something serious. But the first thing I took from this when I heard it was, look, he was living in California and moved to Nevada. She moved from California to Nevada too. So if somebody's being abusive to you in one state, why would you move to the next state with the same nigga who's abusing you? I don't know. Me personally, I found the red flag with that personally. And then the next thing is this sex tape that's supposedly coming out. Shannon said, put the whole 30 minutes out or 10 minutes, whatever it is. I guess there's some part in there for 30 seconds because brought that up. Shannon brought that up. He said, I believe he's going to release 30 seconds of it. Whatever that 30 seconds is must be nasty and violent and fucked up. If you don't want to put the whole 10 minutes and you reducing it to that 30, it must have been WWE in that joint. Elbow off the top of the bed, off the thrower against the dresser. You white little bitch, come here, suck big black dick. Fuck you talking about? You want nigga dick? I get that part. I get it. Because I tell white bitches you want that nigga dick. But it's consensual. They agree. You know what I'm saying? But you know, I've been doing this in a different realm from him. I never made it as a professional athlete. I've been out here shaking and juggling these bitches since 20 years old. I know what you up to. I know when a bitch try to bait me in a text message to say some dumb shit. I ain't writing it back. You right. And I'm not writing nothing back. You can't get me to write a damn thing back when I see what's going on. You get what I'm saying? Then you gotta know. And see, that's the fucked up thing. It seemed like he trusted her from the conversation I heard. You gotta read the signs like, I don't want to get choked. That ain't something you usually say. Hold on. You don't usually talk to me like this. Why are you talking to me like this now? Yo, I'm going to hit you back. Boom. And then you know when shit ain't right, you be like, when you answer the phone, they be like, hello, hello, hello. They setting up. Oh, I can hear you now. They done set the call up. You got to read all these signs, bro. And you got to think about this, right? This is why, and a lot of people call this nigga Uncle Tom, and he don't like black people, or this, that, and the third, et cetera, et cetera. This is why Stephen A. don't get into no shit like this. And I'm gonna say none of us is above it, knock on wood, but he knows he works for Disney. When you work for Disney, a sex tape can't be coming out like this. You can't be admitting that, 30 seconds of this shit was kind of rough. I'm letting y'all know. Shit get a little wild. But didn't he like 30 seconds get what? Yo, this Mickey Mouse in there. What you mean 30 seconds get wild? I think that Disney's getting a little more lenient because of shit like Pat McAfee, cursing at 12 p.m. in the afternoon. Not just that, Shannon had a little sex tape that he admitted to, nothing visual, just vocal. So I think it's a little more lenient, and I hope that Disney does keep him. I'm rooting for him because I do believe this is a shakedown. But when you start getting the video evidence and vocal evidence and audio evidence, I should say, pardon me, and text messages and this, that, and the third, that's crazy. Last thing I'll say before I let Stat give her opinion, if she has an opinion,
I do,
is that the Busby shit. I don't like the name Busby. It sounds like the nigga that you be like, have you been done wrong? And then an 800 number pop up at the bottom of the screen. Call Busby. We'll make sure we'll get your money. That name sounds crazy. The only difference between Jay-Z and Shannon's situation, because he put Jay-Z name in it because Busby tried to go after Jay-Z, is Jay-Z from beginning to end said, I didn't do a motherfucking thing. Jay-Z ain't trying to give nobody no money. Jay-Z ain't trying to settle out. Jay-Z actually said, fuck that. If y'all think y'all got something on me, fuck a civil lawsuit, make it criminal. I should be going to jail if I did something like this. And that shit was out of here because they knew they ain't have nothing on them. Now, when you trying to settle out on the low, it's a little bit of guilt there. Something happened. Not saying it wasn't consensual. Maybe you offered the money because you like, look, I ain't got time. I just need this to be swept under the rug so I can get back to work and do what I got to do in between these deals. But that's the problem, too. Think about Puff and Cassie, right? You make this deal, you give Cassie $15 million or whatever she got, and be like, okay, everything's swept under the rug, right? Cool, let's keep life moving. Now, I never called nigga. I got the tape. Nigga hit you like Menace. You ain't seen Menace that. Nigga said, I got the tape. Nigga, now it's another nigga. You call, I thought we settled out, Cassie. This nigga made a copy and all that. Like, I ain't even know the nigga had a copy or that. Now you got Puff running down the hall and the towel dragging him out of here after you done paid $15 million. It's a mess. It's a damn mess, man. I don't know how this gonna play out, but I do know that it don't look good when you try to give somebody a couple dollars to sweep it under the rug. Like I said, Busby did go after Jay-Z. That nigga Jay-Z hit Busby with a Kentucky Fried 8-piece. Bop, 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 bop. Sent that nigga back in his office. We ain't hear about Busby until this Shannon shit. We'll see what happens, but that's my thoughts on it.
Yeah, I just want to add, a lot of things can be true. Like, yes, the girl is younger, but she's still of age. I feel like, you don't know what could have happened. She could have started something and then it got into something that she didn't want it to be. And at this point, you're already in too deep. As far as Busby, are we really surprised? Because he is a lawyer. He's going to go at somebody who is making a lot of money. That shouldn't be a shock. And then for Shannon, I mean, in the end, clearly he wanted to be satisfied and that didn't go the way that he wanted it to go. So I just feel like playing in the snow, you don't know how it's going to go. And that's kind of what you have to sacrifice.
Playing in the snow, you don't know how it's going to go. Okay.
And for some people, it goes great. Okay. That's not to say you can't.
Do you play in the snow? You don't know how it's going to go.
You don't know how it's going to go.
But you play in the snow.
That's all I'm going to say. You don't know how it's going to go.
Guy, my bad. I didn't mean to interrupt you, guys.
No, I'm just saying, like, you don't know how it's going to go. There's a lot of money on the table. And I think for ESPN, some people are non-negotiable because we haven't seen any repercussions happen to them, whether it be Shannon Sharpe or Pat McAfee or Stephen A. They're in good spaces. But one day you never know how Disney's going to react. Because like you said, now that we're actually talking about actual potential video evidence, it's changing things and it's kind of pushing their limit farther than they probably expected. So I just hope in the end, everything is figured out. Hate to see this happening because it's happening time and time because people are also choosing the wrong people. I'm going to go back to an interview he actually had with Monique, who told him, you need to go talk to an older woman who going to cook you some neck bones and some collard greens and lay up next to you and go to sleep. And honestly, that might be the best bet for you because all this extra shit, especially when you keep kind of raising to the top, you know you're going to have more targets on your back. So I would just avoid this situation all over. Clearly, he tried to avoid it with the $10 million. That didn't work because if she can try to get more and she has a strong case, she's going to try to get more. That's just what happens. So it's just being smart about it. And like Cam said, you can kind of tell when people are kind of starting to set you up. So, hey, I don't know. Good luck to all of them.
Thing about it is, though, Stat, I mean, I don't know Unc like that, but it's like my man, shout out to my man Mars, my man Marshall and shit. He from my man from Mount Vernon and shit. My man Marshall said he don't like old bitches. He a little older. He said, my old skin and they old skin in the bed and shit, all old, rubbing against each other. I like a little smooth young joint. That's his thing. He like, yo, fuck, I'm up here making all this bread and I'm gonna give it to some old bitch that's just in the house, just can barely with all this other shit. And our skin, that was my favorite shit he said. He said, look at my skin and her skin. That shit ain't, it's two old skins, man. I like that little baby skin, man. And he, of course, they have age, his chicks.
Yeah.
But he make money, and I'm pretty sure does Marshall get to that bag, but he ain't getting 100 million. No, a lot of us aren't getting 100 million. So what I'm saying is, nigga, it ain't work out. You see, like I said, we don't know what that 30 minutes like. Unc might kill a bitch that's 60 years old, man. Might put in the hospital. Unc in shape. That nigga be sitting at the dust like this, doing this fucking his shit every day. That nigga lifting weights and doing all type of shit, my nigga. I don't know if an old neck bone joint, like Monique said, is going to get it for Unc. You know what I'm saying? That Monique might have been trying to throw a bit in right there when she was saying all that. But she definitely did say what you were saying.
Yeah, and then just real quick, again, to the age thing, that's fine. Like, if that's what you want, go for it. But just make some things make a little sense. Like, you gotta, the brain, what she thinking is still important no matter the age. If some things are kind of off, please trust your gut so we can just avoid the situation to begin with. That's all I'm gonna say. And especially because I see that, like, the younger girls nowadays are liking the older guys. Like, that's just a thing. Like, we're seeing it in all these relationships, these age gaps. That's fine. Just make sure she's smart. And if it's an older woman, make sure the guy's smart. That's all. That's all I'm gonna say.